And we're back. So,
Take two.
take two. The gang here. I'm waiting for your feedback about the audio on Twitch.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot better.
Okay, that's a good sign. It's magical. All right.
It sounds a lot better. But
Okay.
if there's any way we could raise the volume across the board, I would do that.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Okay. You said
Awesome.
I sound great. Pete sounds soft. Morgan, can you say something? Yeah, Morgan sounds pretty good too.
okay.
Lucid?
Wow, I'm just pretty good.
Oh, Tom says we sound perfect, so.
Okay. Do I sound overly loud, or is it just we're pretty good across the board now?
Sounded okay to me.
How about you, Kush? Like, I'm hearing everyone onto Twitch real quick to make sure, and like it sounds a lot better, but
I
Pete to me
probably
sounds
click.
soft.
If they're different, it's not much.
Okay. And I could probably raise this up. That might be what it was. I think we had me lower. So do I still sound soft?
I mean, there's a delay.
Okay. Because we did X my mic aux.
Yeah, he still sounds a little soft, but it's if
I don't-
if Tom says it's perfect, then I guess it's better than
I just.
like I sound louder than you now.
How about now? It might have been the mic. So it's funny with that delay, right? It takes forever when you're waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm still louder than you, and you sound
But
soft.
I don't think it's not very significant, though. I mean,
Yeah.
not on my end, at least.
Okay. It could also be because I was kind of pushing the mic away and teetering it in different ways and trying to not yell as much. So maybe it's also my volume, my personal volume. So, all right.
Well, you
thank
sound great on Skype. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
but
it's
not in Twitch.
Well, I'm saying on Twitch, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
if there's a difference, it's pretty negligible.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm just gonna drop it. I'm gonna mute the screen now and
Gosh.
Yeah,
Right.
let's just roll with it.
So, not to bore people with introductions, but we have little nameplates to tell you who the characters are. We got the dream map in front of you to tell you what we're about to do. We're going to hit milestone 1 about breaking us out of the system. So we're going to get going and we're going to get running. So everyone pop up your character sheet and roll 20 so that you have your little dice ready because Morgan, you're first up at bat. So Morgan's character is Jack. Now, Jack, we are in this place, the matrix, if you will, from what we were kind of talking about in character creation. So what I imagine our matrix to be like is a little bit like a place that always rains, an urban setting, a city, but a lot almost like Roger Rabbit. It's filled with all kinds of interesting characters, not necessarily like metahumans, but more almost like or like Ready Player One. Like we have strange characters that shouldn't exist, like cartoons, for example. So mix a little bit of that sort of always dark outside and raining with a little bit of that urban setting of everyone in these kind of apartments with these city streets, but not necessarily super busy, with limited street lamps and a lot of interesting characters that you're used to seeing. All of you have no conception of being anywhere but in this world and have always been in this world. So, for lack of a better name, it is just this place, right? There's questions that you've never asked yourself. There are places that you just feel like you've always been at. Now, Morgan, basically, one of the things everyone knows about this place is that there are the enforcers. The enforcers are the people that are kind of like the secret police, the black police, the dark police in this place. They are the law and the authority, and they remove people as if they were some tyrannical government, and people never are seen again. There have been stories of sometimes seeing someone who claims to be someone else, but they look completely different the next time. But usually those are squashed pretty quickly. Now you here are a overzealous homicide detective, and you have a very interesting pen. Which, do you remember what we called it?
Nibs.
Nibs. All right, so Nibs has been doing very interesting things as you've just been meandering through your normal life. When you seem to write with Nibs, things seem to come I don't want to say truth, but you start to see things that you happen to write with nibs about. So it isn't like it foretells the future, but if you start writing about cats in the morning, sometime within the day, it seems strange that you will see black cats if you wrote about black cats, or green cats if you wrote about green cats. This pen was taken from Eriyou, our aggressive philosopher. You just borrowed the pen, never gave it back. But ever
Do I know
since,
this?
you know you lost your pen.
Okay.
But ever since you lost your pen, ever since you've had this pen, the last 24 hours have been quite strange. So the first thing I need to know is how much more information I can give you. So which one of your strategies do you think would help you kind of deduce your surroundings, figure out what's been going on just by being observant?
Well, to deduce, I'm going to use deductive reasoning.
All right, let's see it.
Do I roll?
Yep.
How do I do this?
So you go to your character sheet, and when you find it, to the right of your strategy, there'll be a little die icon. You're going to click that button. And it's going to ask you if you want to use imagine or reason, and you're going to use reason. Okay. And then it pops up, and we now know that you have 1 success. Now, you've played the game before, so any tags that can help you in this situation. You're trying to see if you've been able to pick up little cues and information, things in the background, weird things, oddities. Now, it's worth mentioning, too, I know you have delusional. That's a great possibility as well, because it is a very weird, strange thing with the pen. So,
Yeah, I can go with delusional.
how would that help you?
The fact that I am delusional, that means that I tend to notice and see a lot of things that other people don't. And so when irregular or strange things come up, that's normal to me.
Okay. Go ahead and re-roll. So when you go to buy your tags, you'll see those little dice icons again. If you click the one next to delusional, okay, awesome. Well, the good news is it's not a success. See, when I was looking at it, I was like, wait, that's a crit, but it's not because the 7 just stayed a 7. All right, so that's your tag. You've got 1 success, but with a catch. So yeah, you've been just kind of barely catching on to these weird oddities that are going on. But it's enough for you to go on to feel like you should investigate. Like there's something weird about this item. I'm going to say for story's sake that you remember who you got it from. So, where would you have got this pen? What would be on the side of it?
On the side of it?
Is it a pen that's got like a team or a company or something on it? Were you at like the Aggressive Philosophers United convention when you got it? Or?
It's a good question, Pete. May I dwell on it for a moment?
Of course.
Okay.
So, you've been missing your pen, but Sout, where you are, the thing that's stranger for you is those Post-it notes.
Yes.
Now, you, not having your pen, have just found another pen or something else to write with to write on your Post-it notes. But your Post-it notes have been the thing that have helped you start to believe in this thing you've been calling the glitch.
Okay, the glitch.
Because the Post-it notes never end.
As far as the pen, I'm thinking like it's like a pen that's not of our realm. Like it came from outside. Like, so if you wanted to have it say something on the outside, it would be something like that, or maybe it could be like God's pen, but like no one knows what God is in this realm because
Sure. Or equally fun would be like on the side of the pen it says like out of this world. like it's not a company at all.
Out of this world company, but like when we try to find this company, it doesn't exist. There's nothing that makes it. That's fine. Out of this world.
Okay. All right. So, Eriyou, cutting back to you. Where do you live? If this was a place that most people.
We all live in the same kind of building. So it's like a production line almost, right? Like no one has differences here. everyone has the same kind of homes, and that's what I would think. I don't know. Maybe because I'm the lowest tier person. Like maybe that's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Like a
kind of think
small
you might actually be
studio
squatting,
apartment, I
right?
guess. Excuse me.
You could be squatting.
I mean,
Because you were the
maybe
guy
I'm
who
like an
said,
assigned place, but now I'm like living in the streets by choice, just so I can.
well, you did say
pick
you had
up.
a belonging that said needs no possessions.
Oh, right. Hold on. I said that a philosopher needs no worldly possessions.
Huh?
So
What do you think? Do you want to have an apartment, or do you not want to have an
I
apartment?
have one assigned to me, but I just don't even live in it. So, like, if they were looking for me, they would go there and be like, "No one's lived here for X amount of days or years, or what have you."
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Like,
so you have
everyone
one, but you
has
never
like an
go there.
assigned place. Huh?
You have one, but you never go there.
I think, based on how we're building it, so I think that's what I'm going to go with. I
Okay.
have one, but I just never go. I
Awesome.
just meander.
Okay.
Maybe enforcers.
Morgan, as you basically looking to find where you got this pen that you're starting to think has some sort of a connection to all these weird things that you're starting to see, you find yourself bump into Sir Slekton. Sir Slekton, you mentioned that two of you are odd buddies or something of the kind. What would you like to say? How do you know each other in this place?
I would say that sometimes my stupid knight character would be helping out with an investigation here or there, quite awkwardly and poorly, frankly.
When you find her, it's clear to you that something's wrong. She usually seems pretty, witty, keen, like with it, like competent, and she looks a little like she's looking around as if she was on drugs or if she was, a little delusional, quite frankly. Now, as soon as she notices that you're looking at her, she's going to play it off, as far as I would imagine, without making her roll or something. It's just more that when she doesn't, when no one's looking, we're all different, right?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is Jack a boy or a girl?
Jack is a boy.
Okay, because you said she. I'm very confused.
Oh, you're right. I should say he for the character.
Well, I noted.
You still want to keep it that way, right, Morgan?
Yeah.
I made a little note that said boy. Okay, so Slekton.
That's why I was very confused.
Sure, so Slekton, you walk into Morgan's character Jack. Jack is probably like walking through one of these little alleyways between these buildings. It's lightly raining. Most of the people in this sort of a setting have a little bit of clothing that's something similar to like the 40s or 50s. A lot more formal dress, maybe hats of all kinds. So
Trench coat.
right, umbrellas possibly. But they don't have to, because like I said, Sir Slekton, a lot of the characters here are also very out of place, with no continuity. So for you, you could have all your knightly gear and just like you'd be almost like a cartoon-esque or anime-like character in this world.
Oh my god!
Oh
I
no.
can't imagine anime Kush. Something.
That is glorious.
Do you have any weapons, Kush?
I believe I have a long sword. It glows.
Glowing longsword.
Yes.
Is it like a lightsaber or like a longsword?
It's a long sword. It's a long sword. We're not going to mix our different genres quite that much. I think. Well, I guess we'll see. But so yeah, my armor will be like making the armory clinking sounds as I like walk up, and it's not like a metal armor. There's going to be like maybe the sounds of like leather slapping against leather. I walk up and I say to Jack, "Is something wrong?"
Am I to respond?
Yeah, please.
No. No, nothing's wrong.
Now, it's probably worth mentioning outer monologue, right? So, Slekton, you took her at what relationship?
I took her at close relationship.
Okay, so you're close to her, but she can be any which way she wants to you. Though she knows if you feel close to her, you're probably around a lot. Like you find her a lot or talk to her a lot, whether she likes it or not, or whether he likes it or not. Morgan, how do you want to respond?
I'm alright.
Well, I won't speak for you, but this rain gets me down.
I'm surprised you haven't rusted away yet.
Yes. I don't know. I found a spot of rust on this leather a couple of days ago, and I scraped it off the best I could.
The two of you find yourself kind of in this alley with two tall buildings, one on each side. They're kind of layered in brick. They're a little too close, making this alley kind of tight. You know, you could hear all the water kind of bouncing off the catwalks and, you know, bouncing off maybe like the tin roof ceiling sort of thing, but quite a ways up. And it's just little pangs. You can see a dumpster down the way. But in the wetness and the rain, you can start hearing some footsteps, and they sound militant in the way that they're just like almost like a marching footsteps, like a group of people running in unison.
What do you suppose the hurry is?
I don't know, but from the looks of it, they don't exactly sound relaxed.
Do either of you want to go check it out? Or do you want to stay here? They won't run past you, but if you go to one of the intersections of these alleys, you could see them.
I'd like to go look.
Okay.
Of course he would.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I imagine Sir Slekton. Sir Slekton, what were a couple of the tags of your character, just so that the audience and the people watching this can get an idea of what your character is before I start describing him?
Sure. Sir Slekton's lights are on, but nobody's home. He is large for a human, and he has Super Saiyan hair.
Okay, so your character runs down to the first major intersection, and looking all three directions, you look the wrong way the first two times, and then, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. So the third time you look down, you see a group of men running, and they do in fact look like soldiers. They look like the kind of soldiers that work for the enforcers. The enforcers themselves are generally looked at as kind of like the special agents of these people, but they're the boogeymen. So anyone who works with the enforcers is considered the enforcers. But, everyone in their head imagines something that has like a giant black cloak that seems to whip around and do almost magical things with like a ninja inside. It's kind of what people think of when they think of the enforcers. Like these incredible badass characters that are almost like shadows themselves. So these guys are like more like the militant arms that look a little bit like the like Cobra from G.I. Joe. Like they're kind of like in black outfits that cover most of their body, or the Foot Clan mixed with soldiers, right? So goggles and guns and vests, probably some kind of batons on the sides of them. And you see a group which must be 5, 6, 10, something like that, run by, just as as Jack catches up behind you. Jack needs just 1/3 of the time that Sir Slekton does to pick up the situation, as she comes just in time to catch all the information that you did. With that, Herbert, you're with Eriyou. What is your connection with Eriyou?
He's I have him as close, and like his philosophy and his drive to live his life per his philosophy is like motivating. The actual tag is motivator.
Yeah. So, Eriyou, you know that ever since this weird thing happened with these Post-it notes, where they just never seem to end, you now have this outfit, which is you wear only Post-it notes, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I don't recall that.
That's what I got on the character creation, so maybe I'm taking a liberty with that.
We had joked about it. I don't know if that was decided on.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but like, I don't remember like agreeing to that. But if that's what you want, Pete, I can work with it.
Well, I guess now it has to be, right? It's just it's better than the alternative. You just want to be the average guy in rags.
No one knows they're posting those because they're so well put all over my body.
Okay, so you find yourself before your one. I shouldn't say fan, right? It'd be like your one like delegate, or your one like fanatic, or your one.
Can I say the one person that just follows me, and I'm just like, I'm trying to like ignore him a little. Like, I don't mind him, but I don't really care. Whether he's there or not is irrelevant to me.
Well, it's funny you say that because all that sounds good until you realize that it's a hippopotamus.
Yeah, but this is a world like you said. That I'm not. It doesn't surprise me.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
You know, you're a philosopher. You have a strategy that's what?
I have being a dick.
Yeah,
Research.
so I can totally see that now that you mention it. So, okay, so Herbert is there with you. The two of you are in some kind of like outside area, kicking rocks. What would you be doing? What do you do when you're just letting time go
I'm
by?
probably scrounging for food, so I would probably walk to the open park that has like various fruit trees there, and I would reach up and grab an apple, analyze it, and start eating it.
Okay. Do you have any strategies that help you find places for free food?
Yeah, being a dick.
Sounds
What's
like
your solution to life? Being a dick.
Is that a reasonable use? As in you're a dick to everyone, so you know who has the best food and you just steal it? Or is it an imaginative use?
I'm being a dick to nature, I guess. I don't know. I just go up and grab fruit that doesn't belong to me.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, that'd be more of an imaginative use, where you just like...
It doesn't matter. Triple fives. So whatever you prefer, Pete.
Okay. Well,
Triple
it's more
fives.
about your style. So it sounds like your style is, hey, I just here, I saw an apple, I'm going to eat it. So...
Well, just for now. Like, I'm visiting... Because I put the detective as a patsy, so I feel like I intentionally gave her the pen to blow off the enforcers from they were getting close to me or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So you grab an apple. Hippo, you see him grab an apple and start eating it. Now this apple is on a tree, which I need to now know your role.
Whose role?
Yours. You got to roll Imagine plus being a...
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know
Yeah.
that I was rolling. My bad. All right. I guess it's reasonable since, I didn't offer the Hippo one, so I guess that's being a dick.
Well, it's more being a dick that you just took the first apple that looked good. You didn't care whose it was.
True. I think it's I think it's anyone's, but I kind of made it mine. There's my rolls.
Okay.
And I got double success.
All right, no problem. So yeah, you yank this apple. When you pull at it, a handful of them fall to the tree. They all land around you. They're like wonderful. Now it is raining, so unfortunately, they're getting wet or whatever. But when they land, they don't bruise because they land what happens to be a basket right in front of you.
Nice.
You have like
pick
a
up
handful of apples in the basket, one in your hand. You also hear this marching as it's running down one of the alleyways.
I get concerned because I am actively evading the enforcers. I hand the basket to the hippo, and I still eat the one apple that I had, and I run away. But I don't run far. I just run to hide.
Okay. I imagine you being handing the hippo this basket of apples and then just running away like a little girl.
Well, I still have the apples that I had.
They won't know if they find this hippo with apples. Okay.
I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to try to arrest a hippo who can easily probably annihilate half of them? I mean, it's pretty reasonable for a hippo to have a bunch of apples, I feel.
Yeah.
Plus, he might eat some.
Okay. So the enforcers are coming your direction. So, Sal, you're totally correct. They are looking for you. So which one of your strategies would help you not be where they think you are?
Well, I kind of saw this coming through my researching ability.
Okay.
I would have known. That's why I was glad that the hippo was nearby, because they're looking for an anomaly.
Yeah.
So him holding a basket of apples that somehow all fell at the same time, they would be like, oh, that must have been the anomaly, and then they'll lose interest in that area and go away.
Okay. So go and give me a roll. It sounds like it's probably reasonable use if it's research, right? You've been working at this.
Oh, critical both.
Okay. So starting with you, God, the best thing is probably better before the worst, right? So let's switch it up and do the best thing first. So I'm going to go left to right. So Herbert, what is the best possible thing that could happen for Eriyou? And when he has this idea in his head of, hey, I know where they're going to be, so I'm going to make sure I'm not there. What's the best thing that could happen?
The best thing that could happen would be finding the perfect hiding spot to where they just do not detect him at all and kind of keep on going.
Okay. Morgan, what do you think?
Say the best possible thing would be finding a hiding spot and then being able to step out and walk with them as they're moving through the area.
Sir Slekton, what do you think?
I really like the idea of that blending in. I just want him to be like very ostentatiously eating that apple as he's doing so, like just like really crunching along.
So you heard what they all had to say. What does Eriyou do? What does Eriyou do?
I feel like I like where it's going. So not only do I blend in, but I also approach, where Herbert's at, and make it look like, oh, it's just a hippo with apples. Carry on, And then they'll go away, and I'll just stand there eating my apple, and then go as expected.
Okay.
Because I think they're idiots or fools,
Sure.
Like,
So,
I would like, basically, yeah.
what is the worst thing that could happen? Starting with you, Sout.
The worst thing that could happen
Yes.
in this situation?
'Cause
I
we
would
gotta
get
have both.
apprehended, I guess. I don't know. They take me to custody and do horrible things to me, and then I'm erased. I don't know.
Lucid, what do you think?
They realize he's marching with them and shoot him in the face.
Thanks, Lucid.
Morgan, what do you think?
You said worst.
Herbert drops the basket of apples, and they roll dramatically across the ground. And then he steps on one, and like cartoon style, his legs go one way, his body goes the other, as apples go flying.
Okay. Kush, what do you think?
I like that one.
Okay. So we got something interesting here, right? As you kind of said, the best and the worst in a way that kind of negates each other. So I think that what happens is the worst thing that happens is Eriyou rushes off after giving the apples to Herbert. He rushes off to go hide. When he does, he slips on the apple that he was eating. How about we make it even better there, right? Because it is a critical. You were biting the apple because you were like, hey, you have all the apples, but I'm not going to stop eating this one. You bite it, and you turn around so fast you start to choke on it. You drop the apple, you slip on the apple, it goes up in the air, you fall on your back, and you roll. But when the group of people come this way, they see the hippo with the basket of apples. And they look around, and they don't see you because you went up into the air and over on the other side of the tree, just where the roots are. And
damn, I went flying.
All they can see right now is, oh, and you know what? Actually, now that you say that, that's even better. How about you go flying into a dumpster, right? So you actually slipped on the apple, was choking, fell backwards into a dumpster, the lid came down, and they are there harassing Herbert. Herbert, you find a dispatch, a small group of the enforcers, these soldiers who are rushing in your direction. Now, you're a sentient creature. You see them. You know all the stories. You have a basket of apples that was stuck in your mouth. But otherwise, you see them coming, and they obviously see you. What are you going to do?
Well, I stand upright. I kind of tug on my trench coat a little bit and drop the basket into my hand. And as I walk up, I just kind of lean against the tree and, how are you guys doing?
Does the tree also lean when you lean on it?
You want some apples?
So that's too funny not to have happened. Yeah, you like lean on the tree, and then the tree like leans, but it doesn't fall over. But it obviously like almost kind of unroots on one side. It's like it balances your weight. So you've permanently like taken this tree like from this to this, as like a couple of the roots kind of stick out of the ground. When they rush up, they all have these sort of like masked voices from obviously something over their mouth that sounds like, we're looking for the philosopher. We know that you know who we're talking about. He goes by something like Eriyou.
No, it smells pretty good here.
Don't be coy with us. We know. His name is Eriyou. Where is he? He is one known associate, and it's you, Hippo.
I'm not a hippo. Hippos don't wear coats.
Sorry, what was the second part? I'm not a hippo, I'm a...
Hippos don't wear coats. Want some apples?
What strategy do you have that would help
Mimicry.
you either kill them with kindness or have them pass you around because you seem harmless, or what?
Well, I have a mimicry. And so, like, just basically making them think I'm human. Mimicking being human.
Well, that's obviously a stretch, so let's make it imagine.
Well, that's kind of why I took mimicry, thinking like I don't know if you remember on what was it, the Animaniacs Chicken Boo.
Okay. 2 successes easily, too. So, with the 2 successes, so they're looking at you, and you're standing on your hind legs, right?
Right.
Okay.
I have a trench coat on.
You got the trench coat on. Do you have any kind of a hat on?
I'm thinking maybe like a hat, not necessarily like a fedora, but something similar. But it's clearly too small.
Okay. Sir Slekton and Jack, how did you follow them at all, or did it make you want to move faster? What changed from seeing the group run down the alleyway?
So this enforcer group, obviously they're well known. Are they a group that we would typically avoid if we don't know what's going on, or is it something like I don't know enough of a background of the enforcers themselves, and I guess they're henchmen?
Generally speaking, if they don't bother you, you don't bother them, right? Generally speaking, you don't win with the enforcers. Whatever, the best you can do is hopefully beg for forgiveness. And if they weren't looking for you, and you slight them, right? Because they're just like an endless army of an infinite badasses is what most people would generally assume.
Okay.
So the only thing that's weird about this is that obviously Jack seems to show her cards a little bit when they go by. She does seem to take notice and seem a little more urgent.
I will look at Jack and say, we should follow them.
That is a terrible idea.
Are you sure?
Yes?
I look back at them, and I look back at Jack. I disagree. I think we should follow them.
I think you, sir, are an idiot.
Jack...
That's your answer to everything.
Not for the first time, but maybe the second or third time you think you hear something. You don't quite know where it's coming from. It sounds like it's coming from your person somewhere, and which makes no sense, of course, but you can be delusional. You hear what sounds like a muffled voice say something like, "If they grab the philosopher, then you'll never get rid of me." And if you look both ways, of course, you don't see anybody.
On second thought, maybe we should follow them.
All right, so I'm going to nod, which I guess I can do in video, and I'm going to sneak after them. There's no hiding spots. I'm way out in the open, but I'm sneaking as if I'm following a wall.
And I'm just casually walking behind them.
Okay. With that. So you are in a dumpster. So in the dumpster,
as planned.
In the dumpster, you fell in head over heels, right? So, or probably head under heels because your feet are up towards the ceiling as you're upside down. You were in something that smells like spoiled milk.
Yep.
And and everything around you feels kind of mushy. You are upside down. Covered in Post-it notes to whatever degree is what you consider your clothing. You can hear.
I have layers upon layers of it, so I'm good.
You can hear these men outside. Basically, interrogating is a hard word. They're talking to Herbert.
Yeah, but can I hear it through the dumpster?
What strategy would help you hear better? Right now, the problem is that you're actually upside down, so you're half under the trash.
I'm half under the trash?
Yeah. Your top half is in the trash.
I tripped on an apple, flew straight up in the air, and came back down with such force that I drove into trash.
You're in a dumpster, and the top half of you is buried in the trash.
Well, then I would obviously fix myself up right at least.
Now, would you? Given that might make a lot of noise.
But you said the lid's on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like I'm going to make a lot of noise just by moving to sit up, so I'm not in trash.
Okay. Well, you did crit fail, so you may.
I may. I feel like the force of my trajectory into the trash was my crit fail. But you are the DM, so as you wish.
Okay, so you're going to try to move around and kind of get your head back up on top and, listen if you can, right?
Well, I was more saying, can I? I wasn't like actively trying to hear them.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, can I hear them without trying?
You can hear what you assume was that group talking to what you can pretty much tell is Herbert because his voice is very distinct, but you can't quite make out what they're saying. It's a lot of like the Peanuts talk, like murr, 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 murr.
Then I'm not gonna care. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna stay in there until they're gone.
Okay. So
I can stomach the smell. It's okay.
Are you moving?
I mean, I don't want to be swimming in trash, so yes.
Okay. What strategy will help you do this?
Like sit up?
Well, it's a little harder than sit up, right? Because you're suspended kind of half upside down.
Okay. So like swimming through trash? I don't understand.
Think about it if you fell backwards into a pile of boxes.
Yeah.
But your legs never touch the ground because they're still stuck up. So you would have to push around in something that would help you get some sort of like footing.
Mm-hmm.
And then by doing so, when you find something that gives you anywhere to push off of, you would kind of roll around, get your feet back towards the ground somewhere, kick and push stuff around till you could stand on your feet.
I think the issue is if you want to do it quietly, not be detected, versus just do it.
Think about if you fell upside down in a ball pit and you were stuck.
But it's not that hard to move in a ball pit. That's why I don't understand. I don't know. It's fine. I mean, yeah, I was trying to be quiet because I researched. I knew they were coming. So.
Which one of your strategies?
I have being a dick, posted notes, and researching. So I don't know if any fit.
It's more on you. I mean, you could explain how the post-it notes could take up space, could help move you around. You could explain how research.
One of the post-it notes says this end up.
Right? You could say the research has been, you have been in a dumpster before, so you've done your research looking for food.
No, not
you
not
could
that
say being
excessive.
a dick. It's not the first time.
No, I think post-it notes is fine. I pick up one of my post-it notes from my chest and I hold it up and it says this end up. So I know which way is up.
So imagine.
It always points up.
Imagine and post-it note.
All right. Imagine post-it. Okay, one success.
Okay. With that, you succeed. But there's a catch unless you have a tag that would help you.
Which is weird because it's saying this is not correct. It says I have 8 and post-it notes when I have a 6.
Oh, worth noting. We should take a. It's funny when I look at that now that you mentioned.
I'm doing a quick test roll.
Lucid's mimicry is an 8 too.
I think this is not properly coded. I think the expert level ones are rating as 6s.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't matter.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh no, that's terrible. But I mean, regardless, my imagine still succeeded. I could just re-roll. I could say I'm frustrated.
Okay.
Yeah. Do I need more than that, or
just explain how it helps? I'm frustrated, so.
Oh, in my frustration of falling into the dumpster, which was not my ideal hiding plan, I would probably say, well, it's better than being, eliminated by. I would say this in my head. It's better than eliminated from the enforcers. So I would just frustratingly try to position myself to wait it out. Because it's probably not my first time waiting them out.
Okay.
That good enough, or?
You go for it.
Okay.
It's not my first time waiting them out.
Aha! Double success.
Okay.
Who made the sheets again? So I can remember.
Michael did.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably just a small thing because it looks like instead of where the 8s are, they should be 6s or something. Because it happened with mimicry, and it happened with researching, and it happened with being a dick.
With being a dick too? I don't remember that.
If you look at the Roll20 chat, you can see the.
Okay.
It seems to happen with a bunch of them. Okay.
Happened with researching too, which I still would have succeeded.
Looks like we all froze on Twitch when Morgan dropped the video.
Okay. And I know it messed up the cams a little bit because of positioning, but let's see if we can. Since they're messed up, we'll let it be messed up for a minute. Okay.
Now we're moving.
Okay. My headphones died.
It's just bad tech week. It happens.
Her headphones died, but I'm like, how do we lose video? So
She probably turned it off.
okay. And
Because she probably didn't want to be distracting.
okay, and let's see. So you know what? I need you. Well, it's funny actually. Lucid is actually still positioned okay. I'm like, Kush, I need you to slide a little to your left, and Salad slide a little to your left.
I think I did.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. I just messed with you guys because of the camera positions changed when we lost the person. So okay. Okay, cool. Let's see.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, that's working. At least it wasn't a return. So don't mind me as I break the chat and Skype occasionally. All right. So you guys, and I think I'm gonna.
I double succeeded though, even with the adjustment for the rolls.
I'll kill her camera for a second so it's less distracting. Okay, you got a double success. So yeah, you're moving around in a dumpster, and you're able to navigate and get yourself somewhat. Like you said, this way is up. So you're starting to roll around. And luckily, whatever's in here is very mushy. It smells horrible. But as you're moving around, it isn't making any noise though. You do feel that you probably are kind of covered in something, but it'll probably wash off. It's just wet stuff.
It's raining. I'll be fine once I get out.
Okay. Sir Slekton, you find yourself kind of approaching one of the corners, one of the intersections of the alley, where you look down to your right and you see a part with some open fence and a couple of trees. Looks like a small garden that may be over there, and you can see the back of a couple of the soldiers that went that way. As or if you approach Lucid, we're talking to them leading us to the tree. They're starting to buy that you are, more human than hippo. One of them walks out from the group. So do you know where he is or not?
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm just here getting apples for my family.
For my family. He gets in your face. This is very, very important. If we find out that you know where he is, you and your family won't be able to eat apples anymore.
Dun dun dun. Hungry hippo mode.
Oh, sir, if I knew, I would help. We got to keep order in this place, and helping you would keep order here. We only have one world, and it's going to end if it's not orderly.
And okay, all right. Well, they look at you. The second guy backs off. The first guy looks around. Okay. Well, they start to move. The second guy, who kind of got in your face, just kind of like waits towards the end, just kind of watching and looking over the scene. Stares at the dumpster for a second, but as if there was movement that he could feel, but there was nothing to go off of. So he falls in line and goes with the others. They rush off. Sir Slekton?
Pete.
Yes.
Since I had a double success, it's like the moment they turn around and leave, that's when I open the thing and I come back out. Like the moment, like it's like if I did it like 2 seconds sooner, like the jig would have been up.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that cool? Can I do that?
Can you use the built-in mic on the camera? Oh. Sorry, one sec. As we're getting Morgan G. And
Can you guys hear me?
yep, you sound
Yeah.
great.
Oh, okay.
Yay, you're back. Welcome.
I can recenter myself.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Coach.
Sorry, stream, my headphones died.
Well, this sounds great.
Okay, and
This is probably the webcam mic.
let me fix this.
Tune in next week when we fix all our tech issues.
And have new ones emerge.
Yeah, right.
No, that sounds like an anime.
Tell me if my thing ends up echoing at all, because I have to use the speakers.
Okay. So far, so good, really. Even like last week where we could hear that background, it sounds... I don't hear anything. It's good.
Awesome.
Okay. So you return when you did, and Jack and Sir Slekton, how would you have approached when the soldiers were there and as they are leaving?
I'll let him start, because I missed a big portion of that.
I just want to add, as they're leaving, I am leaning against a tree still, but I'm like eating an apple like a human would.
How would a human eat an apple? I'm kidding. Just giving it a hard time.
Is there anything that would have been behind the henchmen which we could have hid behind?
You have any suggestions?
I don't know. Like you mentioned, they were near a tree. Is there a tree on the opposite side that we could hide behind, where we could be close enough that we could hear what's going on? Or
Yeah, sure.
okay,
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
They were hiding behind the dumpster, and whenever he emerges, the lid almost hits them.
Okay,
does sound
smiling
about
and
right.
laughing, so I think that's a winner.
yeah.
You both sneak behind the dumpster, and given that the circumstances, we'll let you. As I poke the mic. Okay, so the two of you sneak up behind the dumpster. Eriyou, you pop the lid. Do you pop it like excitedly, or is it just like you slowly raise it, like it was like a?
I feel like because of my critical, or not my critical, but because of my success, like even though I had an unfortunate way of hiding, I feel like I know exactly like clockwork how much time they spend at each location. So I would just like pop it hard because I wouldn't care, because like I know they're gone by now. Come out, crawl out. I find like something that has a lot of water, because it's raining, right?
Yeah.
Like some kind of like, what do they call them? Spouts of,
like a gutter.
So I would go underneath there immediately and start cleaning off the goo.
Eriyou rises out of the dumpster. As soon as that lid comes up and he stands out, Sir Slekton and Jack, both of you smell this horrible smell of like rotten food. As he stands, you see some weird miscolored pinkish green goop with mold that's just all over the backside of him, and he's got like these white clumps that are in his hair. As he stands up and like throws the lid open, like he was like was so excited to get out. Finally, I'm free. And Lucid, Herbert can see down the alley. Like you can still see the tail end of those guys. You're just waiting for that one guy to look back one more time, because he was just waiting for any chance to have seen something that he could, hold against
Right.
you. Morgan and Kush, what do you do when that lid goes flying open and that horrible smell hits you?
Oh, fuck!
That was an amazing entrance, but I think you are lacking in fashion sense. I will turn it back to Jack. We should follow them.
Do you talk to me as you're saying these things, Kush, or no?
The bit about the entrance and your fashion sense is definitely to you, but then I'm turning back to Jack. We should continue to follow them.
I look over your fashion sense and I just give you the finger as I go underneath the water spout. I don't know him, right? I don't think I know Kush. I'm gonna double check my character sheet.
No, you don't.
I do know the detective though, but
Yeah, you might know of him, but
it's true.
not an actual relationship of any note.
Gotcha. No, it's the Patsy. I know. I also knew somehow, some way, the detective would be nearby. Part of my research.
So as the water's pouring over you, as you find out a good spot to just kind of drench yourself, and again dealing with this horrible smell. What are your tags?
Tags?
Yeah, what are your tags?
Frustrated, actor, and passive aggressive.
Okay.
So that's why I gave him the finger.
I'm
also delusional.
Do you have any strategies that would help you deal with the smell?
Being a dick. I could be a dick to myself.
I kind of feel like you're borderline have the strategies and that this wouldn't be too odd for your character. I mean, it sucks. It smells really bad, but I kind of feel like your character, like you've been around dumpsters. This smell's not going to bother you as much as it might be others.
I mean, the goo would bother. I mean,
Yeah.
I do this to survive, but it's not like I enjoy it. Like I tolerate it, like my existence.
Jack, I feel like a detective, especially a homicide detective, you would have like the sterner stuff inside for guts and institution to kind of deal with this. So I think we'll pick on Sir Slekton. So Sir Slekton, do you have any strategies that would help you hold back the puke?
No, but I do have a strategy that would allow me to puke back at him if I puke, to puke once more, I guess.
And what strategy would that be?
Mocking repetition. When I puke, I will repeat my puke.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we got to save that for the time when someone else pukes, because then it's perfect. Because then you just puke because you felt like it. You're like, hey, I'm good at this.
That probably makes more sense.
Okay.
I don't have anything to prevent myself from doing it.
So the group of you.
What are your strategies?
Oh, what?
Mocking repetition, swordplay, and origami.
So the group of you find yourself all in each other's company. The tree is half pushed over. Lucid has a basket of apples. The men took none of them. There is the smell and all that stuff. Unfortunately for Eriyou, you're seeing all this gross.
Is any of it washing off as I'm sitting underneath
you're
the
seeing
spout?
this gross goop all kind of eventually starting to. Most of it's actually kind of running down you, which is really even more gross.
Oh.
Well, at least it's getting off my head and face and my upper back, right? Like I'm getting it off. And I don't care how long it takes. I'm just getting it off.
Yeah. So that's happening. Now, Jack, you came here with the intent that you thought he might be in trouble by the enforcers, and you have his pen. And since you've had his pen, you're starting to feel like that might be the source of some of these issues, these weird oddities you've seen lately. Is there anything you'd like to say to Eriyou?
I'm more just sort of staring, like repulsed.
The more you stare, the grosser it gets. Like I shoot out like a snot rocket underneath the spout. Hey, I'm a guy who doesn't even live in the apartment because the enforcers stop by it too often. You know? Those post-it notes are multi-use, if you know what I mean. Like, heard my TP, alright? I'm gonna just spell it out. Alright? Don't judge.
So, any of you, if there's anything, first of all, it's pretty fair. We like Lucid. They asked about Eriyou.
Right.
Jack, you have the pen, and you either want to give it back, or you want him to tell you what the deal is with this pen. Slekton, you're actually just staring because it's really gross.
I think I'm going to turn away and maybe see that hippo cross the lane.
No, I think you got a mocking repetition of snot rocket.
If as soon as they all turn the last corner, I walk over to the others and Eriyou, upright still though, so it's kind of awkward. But get the basket. Anyone want an apple?
I would love an apple. Thank you.
Could you crush a couple apples for me there, Herbert? I said that in character.
Sure.
Let me. Any of you have an appetite?
No. It's I'm gonna make like a makeshift apple shampoo and soap.
And yeah, so I crush a couple of the apples, and
as you make it a nice mushy paste, I take it and I just start like it's better than the smell of garbage and whatnot. So I use it to clean myself, right? I'm also underneath a spout, so it's just like I'm gonna smell like apples at least instead of
Yeah.
I can use research if you want, Pete. I can use a strategy for that.
Sure. It's obviously Imagine, right? Imagine research. You randomly learn that you could make like apple shampoo.
Apple shampoo and bars of soap, to clean myself.
With no actual soap in it whatsoever.
I have one success though.
Okay, what's your researching actually?
7, so it's still a success.
Okay. Any text?
Actor. I can pretend it's not bothering me, but it's really secretly bothering the shit out of me.
What, the apple? Like maybe it's acidic?
No, the smell of all this garbage and goo. You know.
Okay. So
I'm trying to appear much more stoic than I really am, perhaps.
Okay. Give it a roll. See how it does.
Double success.
Okay. So in this case, you were making some apple shampoo, and well, at least reasonably, it's apple shampoo. And like you said, it's better scenting you.
Scent and clean. Like it's. I think apples have some disinfectant properties. I'm sure it has some acid in it.
I feel like it would make you sticky, but
no, but it's underneath the water though. It's just like shampoo, right? So it's temporarily sticky.
You just want something else to grab stuff with it as it gets washed out too.
What's say?
Hey, you just basically want something like kind of viscous to grab other stuff and
just like
take it
soap
out.
Does. Yeah. So I'm getting that goo off. Herbert smashed it up. I mean, he's a hippo, so he's really strong. So he probably smashed it up really well. So it's like perfect.
So let's see, real quick. Let me check the relationships. See.
I just came here to give this pen back.
Do I see you approach with the pen?
I'm still off to the side, deciding if it's a better idea to just turn around and leave.
Again, they have a pretty nasty snot rocket.
And
only because the garbage goo went up there, so I had to get it out. You know.
As you're cleaning too, I'm just going. That dumpster sure was fortuitous. They were looking for you.
And I nod as I'm cleaning. Like I have my eyes closed as I hear him, and I'm like scrubbing my face, and I nod, and I clear my throat and I spit. You know.
Yeah.
It goes, yep, they're always looking, but they're always one step behind.
Kush, you also have a code of honor. I don't know how that might apply in this case. You might feel that you should help vindicate the person who's just and maybe, or, oppress the people who are unjust. Just the thought of how that might apply.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but I don't know enough about the characters in this situation to know who might be just or unjust.
Exactly. And your character he's probably not the kind of guy who's really going to dig too deep.
No, he's just watching everything that's happening, trying to figure out why there's still apple seeds in this guy's hair.
Eriyou, you see your pen as Jack pulls it out.
Yeah, I know. I planted it on her so that enforcers would go towards her.
Yeah. But what do you tell her when you see the pen?
I don't tell her that.
Yeah.
She hasn't approached me about it, so I don't really care.
No, like my character, like Jack is perfectly content to live his normal life, taking out criminals without any sort of interference from batshit crazy pens. So he just wants to give it back. Like I don't want anything to do with this.
Right, but you haven't approached me about it, so I don't. Like I said, I found a spot of water and I'm cleaning myself. That's priority number one, and I'm gonna stay there until the DM says I'm clean enough. I don't care if it takes us 3 sessions, but that's where I'm gonna be.
So I finally work up the nerve to approach, sort of like holding the pen out in front of me, like.
I shake my head at Jack. I'm like, it's yours now. It's chosen you.
Don't give me that crack of baloney. I don't want it.
It's yours. Ask it. You've heard its voice. I know it.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I look for a post-it notes.
Yeah.
That says you know it
that
to be
is soaking
true.
wet because you're under the water.
Yeah, okay. But they're magical, right? We already said that I have like an infinite supply of post-it notes.
Yeah.
So every time I take one off, there's like another layer underneath.
Okay. And you have one.
So I take one off to say you know it to be true, and I just stick it on his forehead to piss him off. And I mean, I'm sure you would look at it after I stick it to you.
Yeah.
But it says you know it to be true.
Look, just take your pen, okay?
Do you like try to hand it to me?
Yeah.
Or do you like drop it on the floor?
Actually, no, that's better. Yeah, I sort of like throw it at your feet.
Okay, I just I stare at it as it's on the floor. I'm not sure what to do with it either. Does it speak to any of us right now, Pete?
It can speak to Jack, but not at the moment.
well, I do need that pen to be on someone, right? So I look at Sir. What's his name?
Slekton.
Sir Slekton. Sir Slekton, are you looking at us right now? Or are you just absent-mindedly staring off?
I'm just kind of looking around at everything with a stupid smile on my face.
I realize that the patsy, Jack, isn't complying. So I do pick it up after I get myself mostly cleaned off. And I just kind of walk over to Sir Slekton and I stick it into his armor, like one of the slots in the back,
Yeah.
And I pat him in the back. He says, I really like your armor. I say it to him like that. You have much better style than I do. Flattery kind of thing.
This is true. I have mastered the art of not stinking like a dumpster.
Yeah, you're much better than I am. And I just keep nodding as I make sure the pen's really, really well hidden on his person.
I just continue to nod back. I am much better than you are.
I like that you seriously spend like 20 seconds really making sure it's good and in there. Like,
yeah, I do.
Like, this isn't good
because
enough.
he's constantly
Lift it
saying,
up, put it over here, put it over here. Stick your finger down to shove it in there.
Well, it looks like I'm just admiring his armor,
Yeah.
So I get a sticky note as well while doing this, and it says, much cooler than you. And I put it right on his front chest.
This is nice. What color are your sticky notes?
They're various colors.
Okay.
This one is, I would say it's, do you want it to clash with your armor or blend with your armor?
I want it to clash.
Okay, so this one's probably like bright pink.
Okay. Pink is my favorite color.
In character or out of character?
In character.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure because I couldn't.
Sorry.
I just said, yeah, well, you run along now and try to stay away from me because I stink really bad.
That is brilliant advice.
But it's only temporary.
We should follow them.
So, Lucid, since you're just kind of hanging out, Herbert is over by that tree, kind of walked up a little bit closer. I mean, you're all
We
within
did
like
mash it. The apples.
you're all within like 15 feet of each other, 10 feet of each other. You're not far from each other. A couple more individuals walked around the corner. They both look kind of like, they're wearing like long coats and hats. They both look human. It looks like two gentlemen, probably 30s, 40s, 50s, somewhere in there. It's hard. I mean, they're mostly covered up. They walk around the corner and they look in your direction. You're the first one to see them just because of the angle. And they, just would continue to walk by, but they kind of pause as they kind of assess the situation. You find one just staring at you for a minute as he kind of can't look away. Wow. You don't see that every day. He looks at the other guy. Get a load of this guy. Where'd you go? He walks towards you. Where'd you get a suit like that?
Oh, it's a custom job. There's a tailor over on 27th.
Yeah. Well, you don't see that every day. And what do you got
Yeah,
there?
it's a really nice coat.
He looks at the basket.
Hey, you want some apples?
It's all bush apples now, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not all of them. I mean, I've a couple, but there's still some in there.
The secondary, the other individual doesn't get as close as the first guy. Kind of he looks in the basket, sees what it is. The other guy in the back, he kind of gazes over the other three of you, taking more of a longer stare at Eriyou.
Do I notice that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good.
Just
I
kind of
like go like
lingers
this, gotta run.
and stares at you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, do you say something or?
Yeah, I go like this. I gotta run. I start going down the alley. That's the opposite direction of the enforcers.
Okay. As you take off, and he looks to the other three of you. So you probably saw there's enforcers out. You probably don't want to be out in the alleys.
Yeah, they came by.
If they start shooting, they don't really care who's in the way.
They already went past in that direction.
Just make sure you don't give them a reason to start shooting.
I was following them.
Such a Sir Slekton answer.
As the guy in the back just kind of nods his hat, and then the guy who was close to looking in the basket reaches in, grabs one of the two apples that's left, that's fresh, He looks at both sides. Oh, this one still looks good. Takes a bite out of it, and then pauses as he sees Sir Slekton's response. And he takes that in and goes, "Oh, okay," and then follows after the first gentleman. The
They
three
were
of you
nice.
find that Eriyou bailed. He just took off when the
I
one of the
bailed
gentlemen
far
was
enough, but like I stayed within like sight distance and
Yeah.
watched them walk away because I could have thought that maybe they were the special enforcers, right?
Yeah.
When they were looking my way in particular, that's when I went far enough away to be no longer line of sight style.
Yeah. When you do that, what strategy would help you not be surprised?
Not be surprised about what?
Someone grabbing you from behind.
Oh,
No. Being a dick maybe because I would always be on alert.
Okay. Imagine being a dick.
That's one success.
Okay. Any text?
I am very passive aggressive.
I don't
So,
know that would help.
When
How
you're
would that
passive
help?
aggressive, I feel like you're much more alert, like because you're expecting a reaction. And I
Yeah.
did say like to those two gentlemen, like gotta go, like in a passive aggressive way,
Yeah.
you know, like oh I see you looking at me, so I'm out, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What do you guys think? Do you guys think passive aggressive is going to help him not be surprised?
I don't know.
That's what I'm hearing. Convince
I
me,
think-
Sal, because I'm not convinced.
I could see it like kind of being acceptable and internally he's surprised, but he's so used to acting nonchalant about it that he could maybe act like he's not, even though he really is.
I could also have actor. I can pretend I'm not surprised that I'm being grabbed.
I mean, of course you could do that.
You could fool
but-
the GM into thinking you're not.
I was gonna say I don't know how that would help, but yeah, you're like, well, I'm not surprised when he grabs me.
I'm not surprised because it's like, dude, you're grabbing the wrong guy. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, there you go. You can play it off as somebody grabs you, and your initial reaction is like, hey, you got the wrong guy.
Yeah. Is
You
that
wanna
cool?
try
I'd still fail.
that? Okay. You find yourself grabbed, basically with two arms, like over the chest. They kind of wrap you as if they were hugging you, and they pull you backwards.
Don't get fresh with me. It's like kick around. I have one success, one fail, so.
Yeah.
You know.
So you were saying that you were going to try to like act like, hey, I'm the wrong guy. Is that what you
Yeah.
say, or do you say something different?
Well, because I'm pretending it's not bugging me that he grabbed me.
Yeah.
I would say like, don't get fresh with me. Like I feel like some guy's hitting on me or some person is hitting on me.
Sure.
Do I still smell like a mixture of apples and awfulness?
Yeah, for sure.
So this guy's getting a scent full of it.
Yeah.
So he can't hold on very well. Eh?
He actually can, as you say and do these things, but you feel yourself being lifted up into the air.
Okay.
It's still your back, but you are something is obviously either tall or physically strong. As you're being lifted up in the air, you can look over your shoulder and you can see that it does seem to be an individual that is like a black silhouette of a person. That would mean he's most likely an actual enforcer.
I try to wriggle free using my post-it notes. That's
Okay.
my first layer, and like just, like shed it like a snake skin almost.
Okay. Given the circumstances, we're going to make it a challenge. So
Oh no.
the challenge isn't as hard given the fact that he didn't outright fail. He succeeded and there's a catch. So there is some ability here to play with maybe him not being the person. It's hard, but it's possible. Where before, obviously, it would have been.
Because I don't have the
no-brainer.
pen. That's the best part. He might detect the pen in the area. I think I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think it's just the pen.
Exactly.
So,
Because it's the pen from the out of this world.
yes.
Yeah.
So mind of the challenge 7, body of the challenge 8, spirit of the challenge 6, tags that's we're just gonna say enforcer. We're going to say something else about the enforcers is one would be that he or she knows, And the third would be, I'm going to put agent, but it's just another word of saying enforcer, like in the way that we know, like the Matrix. Like these are outside the normal realm of capability individuals usually.
Got it.
Okay. You get the first action given that you are most immediately affected. Everyone else literally could be like, oh, it's my turn, I walk away.
That's fine. I guess being a dick about it, right?
Okay.
I would be like, get your hands off me, you. And I look over my shoulder, see it's a dark silhouette possible enforcer. And I would have some kind of insult lined up, but I don't have one right this second.
Sure. Yeah, because I mean,
Get
it's
your
not
hands off me, you.
It's not like you weren't prepared for one day having to deal with an enforcer, you know? So you probably would have some ammunition.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to use being a dick?
Yeah.
I think it's probably reasonable because you probably would have had something, since you didn't come up with something, it's probably something not as pertinent to the situation that you just had in the back burner. In case
Get your hands off me. I don't have the pen.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
Is that cool?
Yeah, reason and being a dick.
All right. Still a double success.
Okay. Given that, we're going to have you re-roll because he knows. And
Bullshit.
It's not just about the pen.
I'm re-rolling. Still a double success.
Nice, okay.
Face challenge.
So you say that about the pen, right?
Yeah.
So given that you were using spirit because you're convincing, right? So you break the spirit from 6 to 4.
And I remove the tag, right?
You can either remove or add a tag. He's got enforcer.
I'm removing that he knows.
Agent.
I'm going to say, you know nothing, enforcer.
Okay. So you say that and he drops you.
Good.
He drops you and he looks. He basically takes a few steps away into basically line of sight. Sir Slekton, you see out of basically just around the corner of another alleyway, which was the last way you saw Eriyou. Well, I mean, you didn't see it, but you turned that way because you're pretty sure you ran that way. You see an enforcer walk around the corner and just start walking slowly in your direction. First time you've actually seen one in person. So what you see is you basically see what looks like a kind of like Kylo Ren in the way that he's got kind of a long-looking robe that it would seem, almost with a collar kind of like Spawn or Doctor Strange, but it's all black. Some kind of metal around the face that kind of gives it a visage of eyes that might be like goggles or something of the sort. But otherwise kind of like a black skin outfit that's over his head and his body. It does seem quite large, like almost like a Slender Man large, but most of his figure is hidden by whatever this cloak is. The cloak on the left and the right side seems to kind of like whip up and around, almost as if it was like, living and made of fire or something. It doesn't seem like a material more so than it seems like some kind of magical surrounding. That's almost.
Okay, can I give an interjection real quick?
Yeah.
Don't forget you have one post-it note on your chest that you could turn into an origami shuriken.
Yeah, I know. I will. I'm sure I will be using it soon. But for now, I'm just going to tap Jack on the shoulder and point, say, "That guy's got a really cool mask and cloak."
Jack, if you hadn't already, you now turn over your shoulder to see an enforcer coming your way. You being the quick study you are, you know exactly where the pen is. Not necessarily that you know that that's the problem, but you also, being the person you are, know exactly where Eriyou went, and he's coming from where Eriyou was, and the only thing over here that you could deduce would be the pen. So that's where your head goes immediately. Lucid, obviously, you see the enforcer coming this way as well. You're a little bit further back than Jack and Sir Slekton, away from the enforcer. Like another 8 feet or so behind them, kind of.
I mean, is he looking like he's here for business this time? Like there's no talking out of it?
You have never seen one in real life, so the truth is that generally speaking, they don't even show up unless it's like, you're dead wrong. You would see the soldiers.
Right. I'm just gonna kind of watch and wait.
Okay. Slekton or Jack, anything you're doing?
I haven't seen any encounter between the enforcer and Eriyou. So at this point, I know that, well, I, as a player, know that the Enforcer is obviously a problem, but Sir Slekton is kind of dumb and probably is just like, cool.
Okay. Sir Slekton, he as he's walking, he doesn't stop. He just keeps walking straight towards you. As he does, when he gets about 10 feet away from you, which you assume is something, you can basically tell that there's movement in the cloak as he moves his arms in, pulling out two things which look like long blades that look as if they were like attached to his arms. That basically are of the same color of black that he is. Like his whole deal is black. It's very hard to see other than in good light, and of course it's always raining and dark outside.
I will respond by pulling out my own long sword, and I will say to this chap, "Hello, I will not attack you, but I will defend myself, my friend, and this nice hippo."
Okay. Go ahead and roll Imagine in your fighting style of choice, unless you have a different strategy you'd like to use for being attacked.
I believe it will be swordplay.
Okay. Roll Imagine in swordplay or it could be reasonable if you're used to being on the defensive, as he strikes without warning, showing incredible speed. Almost as you finish saying what you're saying, he's on top of you and blades are coming.
I will take your choice whether you prefer Imagine or Reason.
We'll go Reason, because that's probably, it's your training.
So that is a double fail because swordplay should actually be a 6.
Okay. With that, any takes you want to use first? Or do you want to buy?
I don't want to buy, but I will say that I will use a tag. I will use large for a human for a single reroll. I am almost as large as as this Enforcer is, and I feel like I'm better prepared to be able to actually defend myself.
And looking like a simpleton or something, maybe he didn't strike you like he could have or should have,
Right. So I will reroll swordplay. And it's still a failure.
Okay. Still option to buy.
I feel like that's cheating, but sure, I will buy.
Okay.
That's not cheating, but...
Okay. Buying your way out of it, you spend 2 belief, so you go from 4 to 2. With that, you get a double success against the body. So 8 goes to 6. What happens? And you can also either remove Enforcer or Agent, or you can add a tag that might help the others.
So this Enforcer is coming right for me, and he's got his arm blades up in the air, and he's coming in with a double attack, and he's expecting his opponent to run, to be on his defensive, to back up, to give ground. Sir Slekton is too stupid to do that, and he just steps right in under his guard and gets a slice across where ribs would be on a human. I don't know that the Enforcer actually is human.
Okay.
So he just steps in, and I suppose I will remove Enforcer.
Okay. When you slice through, actually the funny thing is you slice where the ribs should be, right? But as you slice through, you don't feel anything there that gives you resistance so much as you feel on the back end. And you slice through part of this cloak or cape that is around the Enforcer. And as you do, it takes like a chunk of the cloak out, almost like you slice into it and then you pull down because you're thinking it's like in the body, right? Pull up or down to do more damage. And it just kind of cuts out a U-shaped chunk of this cloak. You two got Enforcer?
Yes.
Okay. Moving right along. So, Morgan, you were right there. Is there anything you wanted to do? Otherwise, in the same solid swoop, he's coming straight at you as well. One motion.
I sort of panic and jump back and, as like an instinctive self-defense, pull my pistol.
Okay. Do you have a strategy you'd like to use to try to help defeat the Enforcer? Whether it's your pistol or... Okay. I'm going to say it's Imagine pistol given the short range and that he came on you faster than you expected. Okay. We got 1 success. As soon as you get a success, I can see if I can hold something against you. Given that these are, supernatural, crazy creatures of this world, you've only heard stories of how people can't hit them with guns. So re-roll your success and see if it still stands.
How do I do that?
You just hit that. Gosh, I don't remember what it was. Why don't
You
you
can just hit
You can
one of the
just
blank dice.
yeah
Oh, that's what it was.
under tags.
You
Where?
can- under tags, there's the blank slots. You can just click one of those.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. So, is your Imagine a 5?
Yes.
Okay. And you had to re-roll but this was your success, so it was your 4. So that's still good. Okay, do you have any tags that would help you?
I have neurosis, which causes like anxiety.
Yeah.
And I have so much stress and anxiety from this thing coming at me and attacking me that I get like a severe like adrenaline rush, and it like adds to my reaction time.
Okay. And how does that help you? It just helps you take that shot?
Yeah.
It's like we got a Max Payne like slow-mo moment kind of as it all kind of
Exactly.
goes in. Okay.
Bullet time.
And use your tag to re-roll that die and see. Okay. So it's still 1 and 1. In that case, we both take a point to our body. So you shoot, and you don't see the bullet hit anything, but you don't see it come out the other side either. As you kind of like jump backwards, pistol in the air, kind of slow motion, land sliding down the tree, kind of at the base, just like with your back there, right by where the apples were. Some of the roots off to the side of you, given that the tree was kind of like slanted. As you were going back, though, something, whatever, of what he was swinging out that looked almost like scythes on his arms, one of them basically clipped your shoe and must have cut into your shin and then kind of right down your foot. And there's definitely a gash in your shoe, which is interesting. They cut like right through your shoe. So both take 1 point to the body. Body's down to 5 on the Enforcer. Lucid, what you doing?
As he rushes by going into attack, I rush up behind him and I just want to like bite into his torso.
Okay. The one difference that you get for imagery is that as it kind of swoops on both of them, you can tell that the cloak that it is almost elongates in size, as it has like a tracer effect as he just clears the distance in no time. It swoops through both of them. These blades almost look like 2 arm sights, like a praying mantis. And for a moment there, he's like 20 feet long, which is just that cloak that's taking up all this space, almost like he swooped in. And then the back part is just fading, like it's like tracers that just fade out, and he's back to, the 8 feet or whatever that he was, as you get up to him,
Okay.
So you probably, as you're charging him, find this moment where you're like, so you see all this, you almost wait for him to get back to whatever his form is before you take your bite.
All right. Reasonable use, I
I'm
guess,
saying
of Mighty
imagine
Mouth.
only because obviously the difference in this creature compared to most.
Nice.
Okay. 2 successes. Again, we have Agent. In the way that these things are the supernatural boogeymen, when you go to bite, you feel nothing inside. So you go for the killing blow, and it's just like air. But when you're there for a second, it's like you can see nothing because you're like lost in this darkness, which is this wrap. It's almost like an empty sort of space that you stuck your head into more than it was like, in front of you anymore. So re-roll your successes and see if they stick.
So reroll both of them?
Yep.
Okay.
You should do them one at a time, but obviously that's a roll 20 kind of difficulty, so. Okay. We got 1 still. Any tags?
Family oriented. While we're not super close to these people, they're fighting the same thing. He's trying to kill them, so I'm kind of like defending them as I would.
So you're family now? That's awesome.
Well, in this situation, at least.
Yeah, I think it's
Dominant
awesome.
foe.
Yeah.
Worth mentioning, too, if you do have a family, you probably want to go back to them.
I just have the creator. I was lying to the
Okay.
guards. Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay.
Ew.
And so still got 1 and 1, right? So
Yeah.
you both take 1 point to the body. Body of the challenge down to 4. As your head is in there, when your head is like, when your mouth is in there, when it pulls out, it's covered with this sort of like black substance, but it's not like a goo or an ichor. It's like almost like a callus that kind of forms on your individual right there, and it's like this black hardened stuff that's heavy and doesn't, it's like tar almost, but not sticky, like dried tar, which obviously would really suck on your face, right?
Yeah.
All right. Stout. Anything you do, and of course, it's perfectly cool if you're like, hey, I run away or something, but
No.
you were around the corner.
I see what's going on, and I realize, because I still believe there's something else greater than this world, and through my researching, it's like if we can defeat one of these, we'll get like a key that leads like that next stage of like exiting this world. So I never thought we could defeat one because of all my research, right? Yeah. But I see them fighting and it's distracted, so I'm gonna try to actually run maybe from behind, and like fight it somehow. Maybe can I find a bottle nearby to like try to crack it over the head, but something.
Sure. Yeah, of course you could.
That would be being a dick to the utmost. Like waiting until like I convinced it that I'm not the problem, and then it's basically vulnerable to me, right? Because it probably thinks I ran away, because that's probably what I normally do.
I feel like this is really more research, because like you said, it's
really?
what you know about the situation that makes it important to your character.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just like some cop that, sorry, suckers, like. But
so,
given what you know about
reason.
How important this is.
Imagine a reason.
I'm gonna say imagine, because obviously you're fighting with your research, right? You're like,
yeah.
You look at it, you're like, best shot I got. Grab a bottle.
So, I mean, this could obviously backfire, but I figure there's 4 of us.
Yeah.
We'll probably chase one of them, since I probably won't do as much damage as them. That's my reasoning. Oh no. You know what? I need this, especially after Kush and his awesome sword attack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I originally went to grab the bottle, but instead, I noticed that there's like a what are those things called? These you can climb up?
Yeah, like a ladder.
Like a trellis or something?
Yeah, and I'm gonna like climb up one really fast and then leap off it like WrestleMania style, and, like a flying body press onto this thing's back. Just try to like knock it over and out. And I'm gonna spend my belief to do it.
Flying body press, that's great. Yeah, it's like some Ultimate Warrior Chris Jericho thing. Like, what?
Yeah, but I had to scream something obviously very philosophical while I do it, because that's what my character would do. Well, let's see. I have freedom, and motivation. So I think I actually, because my true love is freedom, and I want it so bad, and I want to escape from the. So I guess like I would say, as I fly across the air, it goes, I'm getting out one way or another. I spend my belief.
Okay.
I'm down to 2.
All right. With that, down to 2. In this case, good question for you is, I assume that's going to hit the body, right?
Yeah. Like, because like, I never thought
at 4, spirit's at 4. Mind is at 7.
Yeah, but everyone else is hitting body, so I figure like everyone's going to be combat oriented. So.
Okay. Are you going to remove agent, or are you going to add something?
I feel like it's such an unexpected attack from the philosopher that it like completely renders its programming like agent's no longer functional, because it's like, what the heck, the guy who normally runs away and isn't here, cause he's chasing after the pen possibly because they removed they know.
Sure. No, it sounds good. And actually, maybe with the Post-it notes, like, you are somewhat unrecognizable.
Exactly.
And as you go for the body jump, I mean, he's already got, like, Herbert's face in him.
As I'm doing that, too, though. Post-it notes are flying off me.
Slekton's got, like, some of his cloak up in the air. Jack is, like, just shot him, and it's all kind of happening simultaneously. So maybe, being the 4th combatant simultaneously is also the point, kind of turning point here.
But you mentioned the Post-it notes.
What?
So I was saying, like, as I'm flying through the air, like, Post-it notes are, like, coming off me. What's it called? Almost like confetti, right?
Yeah.
Which I think maybe it's messing with his targeting systems. You know?
You go for the body splash.
Yeah.
What happens? Do you knock his body to the ground? What do you think happens from the body splash? Or do you enter this dark hole that kind of lucids off for a second?
No, I feel like he turned around at the last second, and then I just like splashed into his body, like and then like I roll off of him. He falls to the ground with his he's looking up straight now, but seeing the various confettis of post-it notes. They all say like random like philosophical quotes too, like like man will be free, through any means necessary, and like just various quotes are like floating through the air, and it says Sir Skeleton is an idiot. One of them says that. Those are philosophical truths.
You splash him in the air. When you do, something about what you can only imagine would be like the collar or like the cowl part, the mantle of this cloak, unbuckles when you hit him. And when you hit him, you splash him, and him and the cloak are separated. When him and the cloak are separated, all around the four of you, you see yourself, the whole scene of where you're at changes to a gray, dim room. Everything else that was here is gone.
Yeah.
You are in
Holy
a gray,
shit.
dim room, and that person, he still looks the same, but he's obviously a human figure, like in a black ninja outfit, almost looking like, with this sort of metal goggles looking to him. You can't make out a mouth to really see the shock on his face, but you can see instantly, like some kind of anime movie, is that he makes a sharp movement of like my cloak, like.
Do I look down and do I still look the same, or do I have a different form now?
You look the same.
Okay.
Do they smell the same?
Do I smell the same? We have a question, Pete.
What?
Do we still smell the same?
Yeah. Yeah, everything is the same for the four of you right now.
Except we're now in a gray room.
Yep,
and
you
there's
are in a gray
dumpster,
room
right?
that has a ceiling and has
No
four
dumpster.
walls.
No dumpster.
No
I
dumpster.
have my pistol out like this, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
Is this
Right.
your doing, Hippo?
No, I wouldn't get rid of nature like this.
Does anybody have an immediate action? Because otherwise, I could easily see everyone also taking to be taken aback,
So there's no signs of how to get out or anything.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah. So I drop down and just run and then like body slam into one of the walls.
What strategy would help you?
Deceptively fast.
Okay.
Hitting it hard and fast.
Hit it hard and fast.
Would that be reasonable or imaginable?
It's actually imagined in this case.
It's hilarious.
No.
Okay. You got one success, right?
Yeah, it's a 7.
Okay. But you still got one. Any tags?
I'm a hippo. I'm big and I hit hard.
Okay. Go ahead and hit it.
Oof.
Okay. You run into the wall, and it hurts a lot more than it should as you slam into that wall. All of the fury of a hippo, and it doesn't budge. It just
You got one
slams.
success.
But you both take a point to your body, so it's down to one.
Oh, okay.
The agent on the floor gets up, almost like a Power Ranger moment, is like I said. Looks at the cloak, looks at everyone else, looks at the cloak, and goes running for the cloak, like a diving splash towards it. Anybody have anything they would do to try to prevent it from getting to the cloak?
Does it have to be Kush or Jack first?
In this case, right this second, no.
I also would lunge for the cloak because I feel like it's imbued with the answers to escape.
I'm gonna pull my detective badge and assert my dominance and go, freeze in the name of the law!
Okay, Morgan, go ahead and roll for that. What strategy is it?
Pistol.
Pistol, okay. So imagine pistol.
Because if he doesn't freeze, she'll shoot.
Okay, one success. Any tags?
Am I allowed to use the tag from my detective badge?
You sure can. Perfect.
How do I roll for that?
Actually, yeah, that might not be a thing, right? Is there
Yeah.
any dice by the relationships?
No, there isn't.
Use a blank tag like you did before. I'll make a note of that too. That's another good one. Relationship tag button. Okay, two successes. So what happens as you now? Do you think does this convince him to stop, or is it you outsmart him like you make him stall for a second?
It's meant to intimidate him into freezing.
Okay. So it does 2 points to the spirit. Any tags you want to add to this situation?
I'm relentless.
Anything you want to add to the situation that might help everyone else?
We all became
Yeah, you could
relentless.
say we all start getting relentless given the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean obviously everything's really turned. The tide has turned tremendously.
That first enforcer is going to fall. This is like a monumental of human history.
Yeah.
Okay. You do 2 points to spirit. Spirit's down to 2. Body's down to 1. Mind is at 7. Simultaneously as she buys.
No,
you
I got
second.
a new one. Got a new one because of what she did.
Oh, okay. You were
So-
ready to go dive into it, but you changed your mind. And
Yeah, no. As he's told to freeze,
Yeah.
I walk over, like really assertively dominant, step on a cloak, as if like it's over. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I walk over and I step because that's like his weapon, right?
Yeah.
That's like his source of all his power. And what better way to reduce his hope than to like come over and just like step on it? Like this is mine now, bitch.
Okay. You're targeting spirit. What strategy
Yeah.
you use?
Being a dick.
That sounds very reasonable.
So very reasonable being a dick. Because it's my cloak now. Oh no.
Okay. Any
That's pretty
tags?
bad though. I need this though. Sorry. I'm gonna have zero belief, but it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna get a magic cloak of awesome.
Okay. So
I have zero belief, guys.
that will end the challenge. So take us home. What happens?
Yeah, like I said, he freezes because he doesn't want to get killed.
Yeah.
But it's over because he's going to be like self-destructed because he lost his cloak. Like they think the cloak's still attached to him, but I walk over and the cloak's under like we have access to the cloak now,
Yeah.
which allows us to leave the system. Like we can put it on and see through pierce through the veil now of this world.
So yeah, what do you do with him? You stand in
No,
the cloak.
I think he
you
would
tell
die.
him-
I think he would be self-destructed because take no prisoners, so he doesn't like help us find ways to get out.
Yeah.
Little do they know that we already have a cloak, though. We already have access to what we need, the key.
So you think he kills himself somehow?
No, I think the system would kill him.
Okay.
Like, if this was like the Matrix, right? It would have parameters. It would see that it's being defeated. So instead of being taken alive, so we can
Sure.
question him further, I feel like they would just like turn him into ash or something, disintegrate
Okay.
him.
Yeah. So he stops, and Morgan, Jack, you're facing right at him, and you see him basically stop as you hold the badge, and look behind, and kind of like reach towards you, like in the way of reaching, like wanting something, like wanting the cloak, and out of his other hand, he goes to strike you with a knife that must have been in his sleeve or something. It actually looks like a curved blade, maybe like a kukri or something. And as it's coming at you, he just begins to disintegrate. And
Coming out to who?
Jack, because Jack was between you and the agent. So as he disintegrates, you basically, this little kukri dagger, the handle of it hits you, in your coat, and hits the ground with just little force, as it was basically like just left his hand as he was basically going to slice at you with it. And his silhouette ninja form just disintegrates. If you were inside, it maybe would be pixelated, but outside it just kind of disintegrates. And you see the cloak there, and the four of you in this strange place with no way to get out of this alley from what it was. You were now in just a solid gray room, as if it was like in a mental hospital. Like it's just, but it's gray all
I
around.
put on the cloak.
Much more like a like if you've ever seen like 3D modeling, like it's fake. Like it's not like a real room. It's like fake 3D modeling sort of thing.
I put on the cloak.
Does anybody see anything as he disintegrates and Eriyou takes his foot off the cloak and starts putting it on?
That is a much better choice than those post-it notes. They look much better now.
Do I look like an enforcer now, Pete?
When you put the cloak on, it takes you a minute to figure out how to fasten it because it just doesn't make a lot of sense to you because you don't know how to use it. Do you have?
My researching.
Given milestone challenge, all this stuff, we'll just not make a roll of it. Why don't you tell me when you get it on what you want to see?
I see back to where everything else was, like, you know, the dumpster, the rain, all that stuff, right? But like I see it like almost like a haze through, like blocky, glitchy, matrixy like.
Yeah.
So it's like I interface with both worlds now.
And to everyone else, you see him when he puts it on. He completely looks like an enforcer, just like the one that was before him. When the mantle clips, it just kind of like
do I know that
molds
this
over
they
him.
see?
What'd you say?
Do I know that's what they see about me?
Well, I mean, that's more of the cliffhanger, isn't it?
Okay.
Does anybody say or want to do anything when he puts that on and that happens?
Just seeing him turn into that, just kind of be careful not to become what you hate.
Goddamn hippo.
With you putting the cloak on, it seems like it rejuvenates and it grows huge, and he looks very intimidating and enlarged as we fade to black. Okay, so we'll say that the first milestone is completed, which is to break free of the system. With that, of course, you get to raise 2 things on your character sheet. You guys know the drill. Belief is going to go up by 2 for each of you. No one was defeated in the challenge.
I could bring up 2 things of legend, right?
You
if
can
they're
bring up
both
1.
at 7s. Well, being a dick's going up.
And you can only move something to legend if it's your milestone?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's the first one. I forgot about that. I remember that rule. That's the rule that made sense. Because the first milestone you get 2.
Yep. But only one
Yeah,
works
one
towards your, just like everyone else.
I'm actually going to bring up post-it notes to 7 because they're useful.
They're useful.
So I have being a dick at legend. Post-it notes at the best, and researching is still the best as well.
We can up 2 things?
Yep. Max is 7. If you want a new strategy, starts at beginner. If you want a new relationship, put it anywhere you want. Upgrade one of your relationships to a group of people or things. Okay. And as you're doing that, we're going to go right into gratitude here in a second.
What was that? I'm so sorry.
Oh, I said we're going to go into gratitude after this.
Okay. Are we doing vision rolls too, or
I think we're going to do it off camera.
off camera? Got it.
Anybody raising anything else?
I'm raising pistol up a level, and then imagine up.
Great.
I took swordplay from expert to the best, and I raised imagine from 6 to 7.
Okay.
Can you put 2 into your soul skills? Into the same one?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay, that put imagine to 6. I think seeing there's a lot more to the world than would have thought, it kind of makes you a little bit more creative in that regard. Like, oh, hey, there's ghosts and magical walls and.
Question: does my health go back to its max, or am I still slightly injured?
It will go back to your max, depending on how soon the next situation is. If the next scene leads into one. There's a couple doors that could open, right? So depending on what happens immediately, you're going to gain some back. You'll probably get at least 2 points back, but you could. I could say it doesn't fill up if you go right into what could possibly be another fight or something.
Mhm.
So we'll handle that in the next session as soon as it starts, probably. And Lucid, what? Oh, you did 2 points into what was it? Your Imagine?
Yeah.
Okay. And we get everybody. So you told us yours, Jack, Sir Slekton. Cool. So gratitude. Everyone, mention one thing that someone else did this session to make your experience better. Not that I did, but that another player did.
I think both Kush and Morgan like the reaction to the grossness of South.
Of Sal, wow. You said of the dumpster. No, it's of Sal.
Well, Sal, if it makes you feel any better, I really liked your flying leap off the building onto the back of the Enforcer. I thought that was pretty great.
It just felt like it fit so much. I was like, wait, if I'm going to spend belief, it's going to be epic.
I loved everything about Lucid's hippo character. That's just amazing.
The voice was great. The voice, especially like in how happy, like he's so not happy, but like Mr. Rogers he is. Okay, we'll be back.
It's hard to
next
pick
Tuesday.
one. I
What
still
were
haven't
you
done gratitude, but that's okay, I guess. I still have to do gratitude.
Oh, sorry. You said something, so I thought that was yours.
No, I was joking at Lucid for, or not, oh, it was Lucid. He said that South was being gross. I was like, really? It wasn't like
You're right, yeah.
I'm gonna say Kush. I just like the fact that, like, even though he's like an idiot, he's kind of like a badass instinctively. It's like bust out the sword, so it's like deceptive. It's like it almost makes me wonder: is he really an idiot? And then I realized he does something else that's really dumb. So I was like, no, he is an idiot. He's just skilled.
I missed the opportunity to see the glowing sword. Like I should have really been like in the dark, you know. Morgan, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say it's like his idiocy is sort of very endearing.
Thank you.
That third milestone might end up being difficult, though.
Which one was that?
The one where you gotta prove that you're situationally smarter than the hippo.
Yeah, but we just need it to happen once, and then he'll
Just one time.
own that moment forever.
Yep.
Okay.
While we're headed to the fourth milestone, I'm never going to let the hippo live it down.
Exactly. Like maybe like the hippo tries to pull on a push, and like Kush accidentally just leaned against it and pushed it open. It could happen at any time, guys.
All right, well, everybody say bye. Thank you for watching. Sorry about the technical difficulties. So hopefully we got that all sorted away.
Hopefully by next week, everything will be A-okay.
We return next week to overturn a criminal convention. See ya.